Hi there and welcome to the Neckpour. My name's Lewis and welcome to the Whisky Review channel where I give you my thoughts and opinions on a bottle of whisky from the Neckpour all the way down to the dregs. You join me here today for a bottle that I'm almost positive very few, if any of you, will have ever tried. And it's this here. It's a single malt Bavarian whisky from Germany. Not exactly from the heart of Speyside or from Islay, or from somewhere a little bit different, but it's one I'm really excited to get in, have a little taste and do the neck pour of. So this bottle was purchased for me by my wife. She was away on a work trip in Munich and I said to her, as I often do, if one of us is away without the other one, have a quick look in duty free, see if there's anything interesting there. And she texted me saying, are you willing to take a bit of a chance on something? Being intrigued, I said, yeah, go for it. And this is what she came home with. It's a bottle of SLYRS, Bavarian whiskey from the Bavarian Lake of SLYRS is where it's from. And this particular bottle is called the Flying Taste and it's bottled exclusively for Munich International Airport. And looks super interesting. So it's 7 years old, it's cask strength, and it spent the last 2.5 years of that time in a Bavarian beer barrel after spending 4.5 years in American oak, assuming a bourbon barrel, but no more information than that's given. But yeah, let's have a little look at this and see what we think. It's a really pretty bottle that it comes in, just there. And it gives us loads of information. It's all in German though. I'm not a German speaker and I'm certainly not a German reader. I have done a little Google Translate, and as well as giving us just a bit of marketing guff about the purity of their water source and things like that, it does give us the information about distillation, going into American oak and then finished in the whiskey barrel. And yeah, I'm really excited to get into this, have a little smell and a taste and see what we think. So without any further ado, let's get this open. Let's have a little listen to the cork. Plastic cork, not a real one. And let's pour ourselves a little drop. Give it a smell, give it a taste, see what we think. It's a lovely bottle, really thick, heavy base to it. Feels really sturdy and nice and weighty in the hand. And you know, clearly things aren't being done by half measures with this. It's nicely branded, it's well sorted, and they've been going since 1999. On the banks of a beautiful looking lake, and yeah, it looks like they're in a heck of a spot. If you find yourself in southern Germany with time ticking on your hands, and clearly from the fact that you're watching along, you're clearly interested in whiskey, it certainly looks like somewhere that I'd be keen to go and have a little visit at, because it looks great. I'm expecting, being German, you know, I don't know if they've got a distinct whiskey style, but being finished in the German beer barrels, I'm expecting lots of malt to this. And yeah, let's have a little smell, see what we think. It's lovely and well rounded on the nose. Buttery toffees. A little bit of cereal, but more a kind of raw grain, you know, rather than something cooked. And there's quite a maybe a orange or a grapefruit peel. It's citrusy, but it's not a lemon. It's sweeter than a lemon on the nose. But yeah, that's really, really nice actually. I mean, you can tell it's non-chill filtered from the way it's sticking to the glass. I mean, it's 55.4%, not 55.5%, so there'd be no need to. The only thing I couldn't work out is if it was natural colour or not. So I'm not quite sure on that particular one for you guys. But yeah, that's lovely on the nose. I think let's have a little taste and see what we think. It's fairly hot at that 55.4%, but then the flavour is good. It's leathery, it's tannic, it's, yeah, really interesting. But I am going to add just a tiny drop of water to that because I think that's a little bit too hot to really get the nuances that might be in there. I mean, it's not a huge amount of water. It's not going to water it down too much, but I think it just needs a little bit just to really open it up. All straight away with that little bit of water added. Must be really heavily charred barrels because you're getting a real barrel char flavour to that. That kind of fresh charcoal sort of flavour. Match that with a lovely malty biscuitiness, but very savoury. And then it finishes quite oaky and tannic, and I think that's also enhanced by the hops that have been in the beer, because it's got a really dry finish, and that's, yeah, it's really interesting. Because yeah, you've still got lots and lots of grain on the palate. You've got lots and lots of char on the palate, and you've got lots and lots of, there's a kind of sweet, but I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's almost a slightly artificial sweet. And then it finishes with a lovely tannic, astringent sort of dryness, which I've never really experienced before in a whiskey, and it's really, really pleasant actually. Yeah, on that finish, it's tannic and it's drying, but it's still toffee and caramel at the same time. And there's that slight floral note that I think must be from the beer hops that all around got managed to actually make a staggeringly good whiskey. I'm actually blown away by how good that is. I mean, living in the United Kingdom, I think we have this kind of preconception that Scotch is the best, you know, with then kind of sort of American or Japanese or whatever your next category is beyond that point, almost to the detriment of these world whiskies. But I mean, these guys have been going for 25 years. They release, I had a quick look on their website, there's like 8 or 9 releases they've got out at the moment of all pretty naturally presented whiskey. They're playing around with different cask finishes, different kind of mash bills, all sorts of things like that. So they clearly know what they're doing, and they're clearly serious about this, and that's really enjoyable. There's no other words to say about it. I mean, it wasn't cheap. That is the one thing I will say. It was just over £100 with the conversion. I'd have to work out exactly what it was in euros, which isn't a cheap bottle of whiskey, but it is age stated. It is cask strength, and the other question is, where am I going to find this in the UK? Because I mean, there's a couple of retailers that carry their sort of most basic whiskey, but something with an interesting cask finish, there's a special release and a cask strength, I'm never going to get that in this country. So for me, that's well worth it, and it's even more worth it if it was a gift. So that's even better. But no, before I go on any more about this one, I would just like to say thanks so much for joining me here today. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Please leave me a comment if you've got any thoughts on this particular bottle of whiskey. If you're German and you know how to pronounce anything that I've got wrong any better, or there's anything you'd like to see me review, please let me know, and I'll see if I can pick up a bottle. And if you want to see more, please hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you're informed next time I post. Other than that though, I would just like to say again, thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you again for another episode of the Neckpour, the Dregs, or just my general thoughts and opinions on whiskey. But until then, I'd say cheers, sláinte,